At the bottom of page 37, we see where it says, or on page 37, it says science in our world. At the top of the page, it says, look at the photos of the crane and the pulley. These are the pictures I have up here. Looking at the pictures of the crane and the pulley, what can these machines be used for? And what questions do you have? So just take a moment to look at these two questions, or these two pictures. What could these two machines that you see up here be used for? And what questions do you have come from them? Write down your quick answer on those pages. So what could you possibly use these for? And what questions do you have after kind of looking at them for a moment? So this phenomenon can guide our thinking. Last time we looked at that picture of the demolition. This time we're looking at these cranes, and it's going to kind of lead us into what we're going to be learning about over the next few days. But whenever there's a situation that we can observe and we can learn from it and it piques our interest, we call it that phenomenon. So just kind of looking at these pictures, what do you think these different tools could be used for? Emery?
It might be the one on
The crane or the bucket? Okay, what could it be used for? Oh. Yeah, did anybody kind of make that same prediction that possibly that bucket with the rope, the pulley could be used for like a well? Yeah, that's a great example of something that's kind of where my brain jumps to, especially with that bucket as well. Haley, what are you thinking? Okay, using to pick up things that are heavy or possibly you can't reach, maybe too low. Good, Kaylin. Okay, bucket for cement. Okay, cool. Kason? Getting stuff that might be deep down. Good. And Joey? Oh, good. So moving on to the crane a little bit. That crane could be used for building things, right? It's kind of what it looks like. How many of you have seen a crane over at a construction site before? Yeah, so that's a really good prediction using some of that background knowledge with it. And Charlie, one last thing. What could these be used for?
They could be used to pull stuff.
To pull stuff. Good. Third graders, what questions do you have after looking at these pictures? What are you thinking about, Chloe? What question do you have?
For the crane, how many things can fit on it?
Good. For the crane, how many things fit on it? And that's looking like one of those train cars, one of the things that sits on the train car right now. So that's pretty large, isn't it? Kyler, what questions do you have?
How much for the crane, how much weight it can take?
Ooh, how much weight it can take. That's a great question. Because that would take a lot, that would be a lot of effort to lift that, wouldn't it? Good, good. Cooper.
Why the right picture, why does it look so old?
So the bucket and the pulley?
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit about its age. And Zoe.
How heavy is the crane and the bucket?
Good, so they're different weight as well. Good. Third graders, you all have fabulous questions with them. Today, we are going to look a little deeper at some of this as well. You guys have on your pages, you have that STEM to career connection. Our STEM to career connection to this week is, what is it?
Construction manager.
We're going to be looking at a construction manager this week. So last week we were knocking down buildings. Today we are building buildings. Perfect. So we both have a little bit different in our readings, but I'll look at yours first. A construction manager. Go ahead and look at it. You're going to be answering some questions on the next page based on this reading. Construction manager. I'm heading out to the job today. We are building a multi-story office building near downtown. At this point in the project, you can see the actual building in progress. Just a few months ago, the building was just a blueprint on a piece of paper. When I got that blueprint, I planned a schedule for the project, including deadlines. When I figured out how many people we would need to get the project done. Not only that, but I had to make sure we all had the machines and tools we needed. As we have been building, I am observing to make sure that we are following the rules of safety codes. Just yesterday, I had to apply for a permit to make sure our electricity is done the right way. I communicate along the way with architects, clients, suppliers of materials, and anyone else who is a part of the project. Construction manager has a lot to do, don't they? They have to communicate with a lot of people. They have to make sure that things are being done right. They have to have deadlines. They have to make sure that they have enough people for the project, that they have the right tools for the project. How many of you feel like being a construction manager could be a very stressful job? What are some different skills you might have to have in order to have a job like construction manager? Griffin.
You might have to have good you might have to have know how to talk to people.
Yeah, do you think you'd have to be a good communicator, someone who could talk to people pretty easily? Definitely. That'd probably be a big skill you'd have to have. Cooper.
Probably have to know how to make the things exactly how you want it to.
Good. So you have to have a knowledge of that building and that process, right? Know how to do it. Good. Brock.
You have to put things in the right place. You have to know where they go.
Yeah, you have to have that knowledge. You have to be able to know where it goes, be able to put it in the right place. So you'd have to be probably pretty organized or disorganized?
Organized.
You'd have to be pretty organized to be a construction manager, right? Because from the very beginning through the end of the project, you're going to have to help out and be there to do things. Charlie.
You have to understand the blueprint.
You have to understand it. So you have to, again, have that deep knowledge of what you're doing. Lexi.
You have to carry heavy stuff that you might not be able to lift that much, and you have to do it because it might not hold up.
Okay. So you have to maybe be strong too, right?
You have to have good knowledge and how you have to make sure you know what type it is and how they want it, and just make sure they get it perfectly right so it's not messed up.
Fabulous. Third graders, we are going to fill out the questions on the next page. If you look at the next page, there are 2 questions. The first one is, what did the construction manager do after receiving the blueprints? And the second one is, other than people, what else did the construction manager need to think about to get work done? I'm going to let you answer this with your color partner today. Sound good? So you're going to answer this with a partner today.